One of the world's most popular information websites has declared the Anti-Defamation League as an unreliable source. The editors at Wikipedia now say that the top Jewish civil rights group and one of the world's preeminent authorities on anti-Jewish hate is not a reliable source for information about the Israel-Palestine conflict and anti-Semitism. The editors cited the ADL's roles as both an advocacy and research organization, claiming that prevents the group from providing unbiased accounts on these topics. The move, of course, comes amid a surge in anti-Semitic incidents on college campuses across the country since the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack on Israel, with more than 1,800 incidents reported in just the past 8 months. That's up 700% compared to last year. Joining us now, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. Jonathan, thanks for being here this morning. Let's just start very simply. What is your reaction to what Wikipedia did?
Well, look, Wikipedia, Jonathan, is an organization that we deeply respect. It's a website that I think we all use. We count on it a great deal. But I'd also have to acknowledge that its processes are a bit of a black box. The standards are a bit opaque, and we just don't have total access or transparency into how it works. But this happening today, at a moment when Jewish people around the world are facing incredible vulnerability, suggesting that the leading Jewish organization tracking that vulnerability somehow isn't valid, that our processes aren't rigorous, that our data isn't, accurate, it's flat out wrong. And I think what we're beginning to understand is there's a handful of editors at Wikipedia who are basing this decision, if you will, or asserting this claim because of the fact that we do, as a Jewish organization, support the Jewish state, because we do use the standard definition of anti-Semitism used by governments and organizations around the world. And these are the positions we take. And frankly, it's not a basis to kick us off of Wikipedia or any other place. That would be doing an incredible disservice to the public at large.
And their claim that because you guys are both, in their words, advocacy and a research organization, so therefore the advocacy taints the research. What do you make of that?
I mean, look, our processes are absolutely rigorous. Our methodologies are sound. They stand up to scrutiny. Everything is transparent and done very above the board. We have a team of PhDs who does this work. I mean, I find it really incredulous that, I think we should listen to black people when they tell us about what racism is. I think we should listen to LGBTQ groups when they tell us what homophobia or transphobia is. And I think we need to listen to Jewish groups when they explain what anti-Semitism is.
Yeah, well, I actually think that's right. I mean, to me, the ADL is not the same thing as the Washington Post or the New York Times in terms of trying, to be we are not advocacy groups.
Sure.
We are journalists. But you don't pretend to be a journalistic group.
Correct.
But as far as I know and have ever known, there's never been anything wrong with the ADL's research.
I mean,
the numbers hold up. The accounts of various incidents hold up. And so it is possible to disagree with, advocacy or policy positions that the ADL might take and still respect the research. I wouldn't say that makes you unreliable.
I mean, look, again, I think it's a handful of people basing this on a series of issues or positions we've taken that, again, are not grounded in evidence. They're not based in fact. And we're going to do everything that we can to explain to the leadership at Wikipedia why we think they're getting this wrong.
Isn't this kind of the same as Reddit, though, and the different moderators that just, these are these online forums, and this is how they police and based on their own rules. And so it's really these outside forums. We can't have much to do with what Elon Musk decides can go on Twitter. So a little bit, it's just kind of the conundrum also of free speech colliding with bad speech, hateful speech.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I really admire the fact that Wikipedians are volunteers and they work on these things. And there's millions of articles out there that, again, we all benefit from. And at the same time, when a small group of people can take a political position and they're not accountable. I mean, look, at ADL, we have publicly available financial filings. We have quarterly board meetings. We have a very open process. We use best practice governance. I mean, I think we're a bit of an open book. We're trying to open the book on Wikipedia to better understand why they're making this decision.
So let's go ahead. Gene.
No, I'm just trying to clarify exactly what happened, because in Wikipedia, it's not uncommon that if like a celebrity is in the news for something bad or something like that, people jump in and they re-edit the Wikipedia bio, and then that gets recorrected and it goes back and forth. Is that what's going on, or is this a central decision by the people who run the site?
So as I understand it, again, and to your point, there are editors who we don't know their names, and it's hard to ascertain their scholarship or their expertise. Nonetheless, a few editors have sort of made a proposition, and again, they're basing on information which we would highly contest. But there isn't necessarily a kind of due process where we can get necessarily a hearing. So we're doing the best that we can to try to understand how this decision was made. And look, this comes at a time, I can't put a fine enough point on it, Jonathan. We've talked about this again and again. Anti-Semitism is up. Acts of harassment, vandalism, and violence are up. And if you don't have the leading organization in the world tracking anti-Semitism and our data on Wikipedia, anti-Semitism will continue to increase. I mean, we work with policymakers, we work with journalists, we work with elected officials, law enforcement to shed a light on this. So if we can't shed a light on this, I worry that the oldest hatred will continue to fester.
Yeah, let's move beyond Wikipedia and talk about where things are right now. The war in Gaza shows no signs of abating. Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Biden, their teams continue to be at loggerheads about what comes next. Now, college campuses have emptied out. Students have gone home for the summer. Are we seeing, therefore, a decrease in some of these anti-Semitism incidents? Where are we right now?
Well, it's a good question. So certainly the students have left campuses for the most part. And yet we've continued to see what some activists are describing as, quote, the summer intifada. Obviously, that makes Jewish people nervous because the intifada was a campaign of violence in Israel. We saw the vandalism just last week at the home of the director of the Brooklyn Museum. We've seen, ugly protests in front of the Nova exhibit here in New York and all over the country. So I will say that while campuses have calmed down a little bit because the students are gone, there's still a lot of anxiety out there, a lot of intensity. And I'm a little bit worried, Jonathan, as we head towards Chicago and towards the summer, that things could really blow up in the streets.
That's certainly
something.
Can
we just say the obvious once again and keep repeating it? You can go ahead and criticize the actions of the government of Israel. You can criticize Benjamin Netanyahu. You don't have to go all anti-Semitic to do it. You don't have to hate Jews to think that Benjamin Netanyahu is a bad guy.
And also, I don't know how much media attention it's gotten in the U.S., but there was a horrific rape of a young girl, a Jewish girl in France, just over the past week.
That's right.
And that is just anti-Semitism in its worst and most glaring sexual violence.
A 12-year-old girl in Paris was gang raped by a group of youth. The French police are calling it a, quote, overt anti-Semitic act. We've seen these things explode all over the world. And you can have strong feelings about what's happening in the Middle East. You can have compassion and empathy for Palestinian civilians, and we should. Our hearts should break for every single civilian killed. But that isn't an excuse to target and commit acts of violence against Jews in France, in America, or anywhere. And it's confusing to me why everyone doesn't understand that, but we'll just keep shining a light on it. That's all we can do.
All right. The CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you for being here.
Thank you.